It's tosh time. We thought we'd retired that phrase, but then it's become, Ellie has put it, as the calling card for the Facebook group, the private members only, VIP Facebook group. So, Ellie, we might as well start with this.
Yeah.
I think the last time, in the first 2 days, we had garnered 8 listeners.
We're up to 20 members.
My goodness, what a triumph.
Simon says, thanks for letting me in, Ellie. Looking forward to chatting with everyone. I listened to the latest pod about 6 hours ago and I'm randomly chuckling when remembering random moments like David mispronouncing emojis. By the way, I prefer the long episodes.
You've been telling me there's been a bit of a discussion about the long episodes, and the consensus is that the long episodes are preferred.
Yeah, and appreciated. The effort is appreciated by both Olivia and Steve. Because I'd put in a post about we were trying to keep it short, and then we didn't, and then that ended up being something like 97 minutes.
Well, last week's episode I think was 105 minutes.
Okay, so even worse. And that because it was so long, it was going to be a Friday upload because you had to go and do your paid job instead of editing the free podcast.
Well, now it's a little bit easier for me to do the editing for the podcast because I got a Mac. The battery is much better, so I can edit on the move. There's a weird thing that it does, though. You know that it does the Find My thing?
Oh, yeah.
I was on the computer. I don't want to necessarily say on the Mac, because when people have got a Windows computer, they just say, I'll turn the computer on. But when people have got Macs, there's certain...
They tell you about it,
but they don't just say, I'll turn on the Mac, they'll say, I'll fire up the Mac.
Oh, God.
Like that sort of... That's the old socials guy. Oh, let's fire up the old Mac there. And when I fired down the Mac, or whatever the terminology for that would be, what happened was, after about 5 or 10 minutes, I got a notification on my phone. So this is while I was on a train. Yeah. And it said, you have left your Mac behind. It says your Mac was last seen, and then it's got some random place in the middle of the railway track.
Oh, right.
And it's like somewhere we'd passed about 5 or 10 minutes ago. And then you can see on the map where it's going, and it's telling me it's getting further and further away. Yeah. Now, even though I know, I'm 100% sure that Mac is in my bag. Yeah. Because I've just used it, I put it in my bag. There's no way it could possibly... We haven't even stopped at the train station, so it's not as if somebody could have stealthily stolen it. Well, it would have had to have been some sort of daring deed. They'd have had to have gone in my bag, which is between me legs, gone in between me legs without me noticing, and it's, you know, you go between my legs, I notice. That doesn't go unnoticed, especially these days.
It's very rare.
My Mac's been fired up. At least the Mac's been fired up, but anyway. We'll keep it PC, sorry everybody. Yeah, so they would have to go between my legs, get the bag open, and then, I don't know, they would have to, if they were trying to steal it, they would have to then get a zip wire or something out of the window, out of the train. So that's the only way this would have worked. So I know that it's there in my bag, but do I check? Of course I check. I've got to check. There's no way I can just go, oh, well, hey, home, and then not check for the rest of the journey. And I can tell, as soon as I pick the bag up, I can tell by the weight that the Mac is in there. Unless someone's weighed it down with some bricks or something, just to put me off the scent. So I've got my hand in my bag and I'm feeling, and I can feel the Mac there. But it's still telling me that the Mac is left behind. It does a vibrate again. Your Mac's been left behind. Do you want to report it as lost? The map is getting, it's now 10 miles away, 15 miles away. It's getting further and further away.
Just because you've switched it off so it can't recognise it.
Presumably, but it doesn't do it when I'm in the house, because presumably it must be when I'm on Wi-Fi.
Home, so
but when I leave the house, I don't get a notification every time I leave the house. You left your Mac behind, but it does it for some reason when it's on the train, so I'm not entirely sure what the technology is or how it works or what's happening, but I would have thought that surely if there's enough battery in there for it to do the location, which there is, the battery is fully charged, surely there's Bluetooth on the Mac, there's Bluetooth on the iPhone. Can it not use that to go the phone and the Mac together? Yeah. So therefore it's absolutely fine. But when it first did it, I was like, bloody hell, there's not like a hole in the train or something, and someone just dropped out. But I'm then starting to doubt myself. I'm checking the ports to go, well, it's the same computer, isn't it? Like, what am I doing? As if someone's going to swap it out for an inferior model. What kind of a ruse do I think this person has pulled off? I mean, if they're that clever, they would have surely somehow disabled the Find My feature on the Mac. But anyway, it does do some odd things. sometimes it's really difficult to just do the simplest of things.
Yeah.
Like I was struggling at one point to just record the internal, what was coming through the Mac sound card, just record that.
Yeah.
And you've got to download like a third-party app. There's one which is really good, and I'll probably end up getting, but it just feels absolutely ridiculous. Bear in mind, this is something I could do for free on Windows. It costs $69. It does loads of other bits and pieces, but really, I just want it so I can just record what's coming through the... But then the other thing is, while I was trying to sort all of this out, all of a sudden my sound disappeared on the computer. And I was thinking, what the bloody hell's going on? And then you came up the stairs and you said, I've just got a notification on the TV saying that your Mac is trying to
connect to the
TV, and all of a sudden the sound of the Mac is coming out of the TV, which is downstairs. And I'm thinking, this is absolutely ridiculous. I've absolutely no idea how I managed to do this. And I'm thinking, I can't do something simple like record the internal sound card, which I thought would be really simple, but I can connect to a television that I've not tried to connect to.
And also, I can't cast things to that TV even when I want to.
And I didn't want to, and it just started connecting to the TV.
I was like, I'm sorry, what's going on here?
And I had no idea. And the problem is that someone who's blind, as soon as you lose sound, the computer's just locked me out. I can't use the computer now. I need to try and work out some way, like an emergency button, something that I can press that just restores sound back to the internal speakers. Because otherwise, if you weren't there, I wouldn't know what to do.
You wouldn't have had, a chance.
I'd have to get a ratio round.
Yeah, and go, have a look at this.
David. I know we've had some good conversations, and I felt a bit of a spark as well, but when you say you fired it up and it's not working...
I need someone to take a look at it.
I need someone to take a look at it, then...
So one comment in the group is from Olivia, of course. Brilliant podcast this week. On the subject of both Matty Groves, a Fairport fave, and my penchant for emojis, I give you a little something I did last summer. Emoji Matty Groves.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
Shall I do some guessing of what we've got then?
Yeah, so I'm not going to read the whole thing out. So she's posted 2 pictures of the entire song.
So there's going to be some kind of like holiday celebration feast type thing?
So the first line, we've got 2 beach holiday emojis.
Okay, then we've got some kind of religious iconography perhaps, like a cross or a spire.
We've got a plus sign.
Why?
What's the first line, David?
A holiday, first one of the year.
Yeah, so a plus sign, a first medal, a gold medal, and an ear.
First one of the ear?
Yeah.
I wonder if Olivia actually thinks that's what it says. And the first one of the ear.
I think she's been very crafty because there's not necessarily emojis for everything. If you want to see the full song in emoji form, you need to join the Facebook group.
Exactly, there's an incentive.
But what has tickled me somewhat is when Matty Groves is being questioned, so she's done a question emoji and then a quotation mark, thumbs up, feather,
I don't
bed,
remember him getting
question
that.
mark, thumbs up, feather, bed, question mark.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so that is...
Well, don't you like my feather bed?
Yeah.
Obviously, I know what it is, very obvious.
And then, thumbs up, 2 sheep, question mark.
Like my sheep. I don't know why we're getting the words wrong. I'm sorry, Olivia. I don't quite understand this.
Because there's not a sheet emoji.
I know, but...
So it's a sound alike. I like it. If there's a ghost emoji that's like a ghost sheet, a sheet ghost...
Because also it suggests that he's in bed with the sheep.
Quite possibly.
Never mind a lady gay. My goodness. So if you would like to see a bit of an incentive here, this is going to get them coming through.
Yes.
Joining. If you would like to see Olivia's Matty Groves emoji
extravaganza,
then you need to join the Facebook group. How can they do that, Ellie?
They can go to Facebook and search listeners of the David Eagle podcast. So another comment we've got from Steve, original Steve, not new Steve, now listening to Matty Groves with a completely different perspective. And then Simon has chipped in with, that was really interesting breakdown, wasn't it? There's probably a niche podcast out there somewhere dedicated to dissecting songs from every genre. That would probably be overkill, he says. But hearing David do it now and again is cool.
Well, I was thinking, because there's a similar one, the Raggle Taggle Gypsy.
Oh.
Which is a very strange one. It says there were 3 old gypsies came, I think it says the old gypsies, which is
Do I need to
odd.
research or?
Well, maybe it was young. There were 3. Young sounds better because of the way that the story goes. Because she runs off with the Raggle Taggle Gypsy. The 3 old gypsies came to the Lord's house door. They sang brave and boldly, one sang high and the other sang low, and the other sang a Raggle Taggle Gypsy. What does that mean? One sang high, the other sang low, and also when you say the other, What do you mean the other? Because there's three of them.
There's two others.
So you can't say the other sang no, and then you say and the other.
Yeah.
So what do you mean and the other? They haven't explained that very well. And the other sang a raggle-taggle gypsy, or...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Well, maybe the raggle-taggle gypsy is the tune, and the other two are doing harmonies.
Well, maybe. The next thing that happens is the woman flees the house.
Yeah.
She runs off with the raggle-taggle gypsy. So it says, doesn't it say I'm away with the raggle-taggle gypsy? Or
She's away with
She's away with the raggle. So they're describing the gypsy as the raggle-taggle gypsy, or...
Yeah.
So that's why it doesn't mean the tune, does it? And the other sang a raggle-taggle gypsy, or...
No.
That doesn't make any sense. The Lord finds out about this in the same way as Matty Groves.
Yeah.
The servants tell the Lord what's happened. He then rides to find her, and it says, he rode east and he rode west. He rode north and south. Now, why? That is a weird way to go. And how did he decide when to stop going east?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, you're looking for someone. You are trying to find somebody.
If you go east and then you go west, you could end up back where you were.
Well, exactly, so it's pointless. And then you've lost the time that you would have otherwise gained, because now it's taken you even longer. So how do you know when to stop riding? Because if you ride east and you go, well, presumably they've not gone east. So then you ride west. They've now had however many hours ahead of you before you set off.
Yes.
And then you've now got to ride in that direction. So you've turned back round. You're potentially half a day, if not more. Depends how long you've been riding.
Yeah, you were already playing catch-up, and now you've set yourself off in the wrong way.
In the wrong way. So now you're going back the other way. I mean, they literally might have been like, if he'd have continued riding east for another minute, he might have caught up with them. He doesn't know, so he might have literally been a minute away from them. What he needs is a Find My device.
Oh, he does.
I mean, actually, it wouldn't work. It'd be absolutely ridiculous. 10 miles away. You've left
your wife's left you.
You've left your lady behind. So he's ridden east and he's ridden west. So then he's decided that west is also not good enough. So then he's now gone south and he's gone north as well.
Yeah.
So I just don't quite understand. That seems very odd routing. Also, did he not say to the servant... Bearing in mind, they saw her leave with the raggle-taggle gypsy. Did she not say, oh, by the way, which way did they go? Like, that would have been the first thing.
Could you give me a bit of a pointer?
Give me, where did he go?
Yeah. How long ago?
Yeah.
How were they
When did they set off? How long did they go? Because what you could have done is you could have gone, I'll send some other people out as well.
Yeah.
A search party, rather than this stupid fool's errand situation, wild goose chase. And talking of geese, he eventually, in fairness to him, he finds her.
Yeah.
And the first thing he says, she's lying in the arms of the raggle-taggle gypsy. Or, how could you leave your goose for the bed? So it's back to the bed again.
Yeah.
The first thing he says, just like in Matty Groves, how do you like my... They're obsessed with the comfort of the bed.
Yeah.
The first thing, he's been riding. He's been riding for potentially hours. He's gone the wrong way.
Yeah.
He's gone the wrong way again. He's gone the wrong way again. He's finally gone the right way. He must be absolutely exhausted. He's had so much time to go, I'll give her a piece of my mind. I'll tell her what I think. I'll beg for her back. He's had all this time, and he reaches her, and the first thing he says is, how could you leave your goose feather bed? Why are they obsessed with the bed?
Well, also, what's a bit weird, and she's gone, well, what do I care of those?
What do I care for me goose feather bed?
What do I care for my house and lord?
He presumably thought, oh, that goose feather bed's going to win her back.
Her.
And she says immediately, maybe he thought this was the best thing. He thought, I'll say what do I care? And she'll go, bloody hell, I forgot about my goose feather bed. Come on.
Yeah.
But she completely rides roughshod over that. And the first thing she says is, well, what do I care for me goose feather bed?
But then in the last one, what do I care for my house and land? What do I care for my money? Oh, I'd rather have a kiss from the yellow gypsy's lips. I mean, why is she calling him yellow?
Yeah, I wondered that as well.
Yeah.
Why would the gypsy be yellow? So where's the gypsy from?
Oh, I don't know, but people who have got sort of Romany descent are sometimes a bit more tanned.
You wouldn't have thought they'd be yellow.
Well, no, people are yellow, really, so it's a bit...
Are they not?
A little bit of mild racism. Not really.
Because I think of the Johnny... bloody hell, When a Child is Born. What's he called? Johnny...
Mathis.
What?
Mathis.
Johnny Mathis, yeah. Yeah, well, actually, I did that deliberately, Ellie, so I could do the joke. Remember, look at the script? You do the Mathis. You do the Mathis. Okay.
Okay.
He says that a child is born to this world, and it says black, white, yellow, no one knows.
Yeah. this is sort of
He's got one
colonial
nose, so presumably in two noses.
It's a bit of a racist trope, isn't it? It's like,
Is it?
Yeah, so calling...
This is a new feature, by the way. We'll get a jingle for it next week. Racist tropes.
David Eagle.
That's the Facebook group. If you can think of a rhymes for tropes, please, for the racist tropes feature. Have you got any racist tropes as well that you would like to do? And please do all get involved. Any, black, white, yellow, whatever colour you are. So I don't know this, obviously not being able to see.
Even the Spice Girls said yellow men from Timbuktu, which makes no sense because Timbuktu is in Mali, I think, so that's North Africa. But the white colonisers would refer to East Asian people as yellow-skinned because they've got a slightly different skin colour to us, but I wouldn't say they're really yellow. And then they'd also call Native Americans red Indians, so they said they were red-skinned men, and they're not.
I don't understand that then. Where's yellow come from? There must be a shade of yellow. There must be something.
Well, no, they've just got a different...
But why are they saying yellow then?
We're not white. Like, if anything, we're sort of pinchy. We've blown this wide open for you. Like, our skin, we're sort of peachy, pinky, creamy. Yeah, there's lots of different
So it should be like that then on the forms that you fill in. Peachy, pinky, creamy.
Yeah.
Peachy, pinky, creamy. They're the... that reminds me of that X-rated version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
God.
Anyway, it's time to get this email from Pete.
Hi, David. Listening to the latest podcast gave me one of those strange little moments where you wonder what on earth the universe is up to. You asked who we want to narrate our life story. My first thought was Simon Nicol, because Fairport Convention have been on the road for as long as I've been alive, and their music has genuinely been a part of the soundtrack of my life.
Isn't that crazy? So we've got two big Fairport Convention pans. Fat pans. Is that one of our Le Cruciers? Have you got one of those? Don't tell me you haven't got one of those, Olivia. Fairport Convention Le Crucier.
Then I thought, no, actually, I'd rather it was Christy Moore, one of the best storytellers there's ever been.
Oh, that's like trash talking Simon Nicol there.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of like, Fairport Convention is my favourite band, I'll go for Simon Nicol. And then go, actually, Christy Moore's a much better storyteller.
Then I realised that the song that joins Fairport and Christy Moore together is Matty Groves, or Little Musgrave as Christy sings it. So I started singing Matty Groves to myself driving down the road, and then a few minutes later, after you blethering on about rearranging your trouser department, you start going on about that very same song. Not entirely sure what the message the universe was trying to send me through your wonderfully nuts podcast.
Well, there was nuts, and quite a few mention of nuts when I was in the park, just in my genitals.
But it did get me thinking about synchronicity. Do you think synchronicity is the universe whispering profound truth to us, or just God entertaining himself by watching middle-aged folk fans slowly lose their mind over Fairport Convention lyrics? Thanks to you and Ellie for a great podcast. All the best, Pete.
Thanks,
Pete.
Pete. Well, I hope you didn't mind there. We couldn't get Christy Moore to read out your email, Pete. I didn't actually ask him. I could have done, I suppose. And I think he's probably a bit too busy. Imagine what a treat that would have been. We've got 2 emails. We've got more messages to read. Still to come on this week's episode of the David Eagle Podcast. Little play if you want of Name That Tune. It's not something I recognise. An unexpected little game for you to play there. There's always games that you can play in life if you look for them. I do tend to turn a lot of things into games, just generally. For instance, if I'm putting my clothes on, I'll set myself some sort of target and I'll talk it through as well. So, for instance, if I put a sock on and then I can't find the other sock, we discussed this last week, is a common occurrence. And I'll say, well, he was going to do this, he should have. Because sometimes, I know that you don't judge me for this too harshly, but sometimes I will wear the same pair of socks 2 days in a running. Well, actually, not 2 days running. Not if I was running, I probably wouldn't, because obviously there's a bit more sweat there. But I might wear the same pair of socks 2 days in a row. What I'll often do is I'll often not put a fresh pair of socks on in the morning if I'm around the house. Finally, it's telling us the stuff that we really want to know. If I'm doing a gig on the evening, but I'm in the house for the day, I'll put the socks on then. Have a shower, put the socks on, and then go out and do a gig. So it seems a bit wasteful to then the next morning put a new pair of socks on, because I've only been wearing them a few hours. So that's my reason. The reason I mention that is because this explains the next bit. So when I'm putting my clothes on, often I want to put my socks together. I'll have just taken them off and they'll be slightly apart. And then I have to try and find, obviously then that slows me down. And so when I put my clothes on, when referee blows the whistle, that's in my head, obviously. I don't actually have a referee. I don't involve anybody else in this. But when the referee blows the whistle, that could be the sound of the whistle. Excellent. Good to see the sound effects department's in. Sound a bit more like a bird. Livy will be able to tell you which one. When the referee blows his whistle, and I reach out for that first sock, and I find it. I put it on my foot. But then I reach out for the second one and it's not there. Also, I do commentary as well in my head. And so I'll be like, well, this has not got off to a good start. And it's a rocky error. It's, one of the first things you do is that you pair your socks up in advance. You have everything ready so that you can just quickly put it on. And he's not done that. And he's really going to suffer the consequences now because if he's aiming to get all of his clothes on in 60 seconds. Well, we're already 15 seconds through, a quarter of that time, and he's only just found his second sock. And that does not bode well. He's really going to give it some here. He's really got to go for it. And the crowd are disappointed at that, quite frankly, amateurish move there from an experienced player of this game. And then the expert summariser might be like, well, he got back from the gig late last night and, he was quite tired and he didn't really think about the fact that this morning he'd be... Well, you're quite right, if you're going to do it, you've got to do it properly. And I mean, you could argue that the expert summarising the commentating maybe slows me down because I've got to do that myself. I could probably concentrate on my sock and putting my clothes on and all of that, but I've also got to concentrate on the commentary and the expert summarising. But obviously, the commentator and the expert summariser can't say that. They can't go, oh, well, to be fair, he's also playing the part of commentator and expert summariser, which is slowing him down because his ability to multitask, like there, that proves the point. I was talking to you, and then I nearly crashed into somebody there. So it's difficult to multitask in those scenarios. But then that's getting a little bit too meta. If I start saying that, why is he commentating? Why would he be doing the expert summarising? So I have to keep up the illusion that they're different people. Otherwise, that's the road to madness. Absolutely ridiculous. And if there's one thing I can't abide, it's been ridiculous. But yes, I'll do the whole thing and obviously I'll imagine the crowd in my head as well. So when that sock incident happens, there's just a groan from the crowd. And then sometimes they're getting angry, they're shouting things. Quite a stressful way to start the day, to be honest. I mean, it's probably quite unhealthy. I mean, there'll be someone who works as a therapist or something might be saying, this is very unhealthy, David, because essentially your life, you feel like you're being judged in all of your life. You're doing performances, you're going out and gigging in all of these different places, and you're constantly being judged. And then the morning, the time when you don't have to be judged, it's just you by yourself. You've got out of bed and the first thing that you do is you start giving yourself a challenge of putting your clothes on in a certain amount of time. And if you haven't got your socks together, you've got this crowd booing you. And a commentator or an expert summariser slagging you off. And actually, what I thought of maybe as a fun pastime, just a fun little game to spice things up, it actually might be more symptomatic of something deeper and more sinister. So think about that before you answer my question. Do you play any little games in your life? I mean, there are some times, though, where I absolutely ace the game. The socks are together, the boxer shorts, they're ready to go, they're going the right way. The crowd can't believe it. He's got two legs in, he lifted both of his legs up, and he's put both legs in to his boxer shorts at the same time, and that's really saved a lot of time there. With one elegant move, two legs, pulled it up with his hands. Absolutely incredible. And the expert summariser might be like, yes, but he's not thought about the placement of his genitals. He's going to go out to the park soon. He'll be wandering around the park. And he wished maybe that he'd put a little bit more attention there into the positioning. But certainly for the purposes of this game, absolutely incredible job. And then the crowd are going wild. But I don't know if that makes it more healthy. Because yes, sometimes they like it when I do well. They don't like it when I don't. But maybe I'm putting too much pressure on myself. But I also do it if I'm trying to get the tram. I'll try and do this. I'll set up from my house and I'm trying to time the lights right and that kind of thing. So I'll commentate on that in my head as I go. Because you can cross at different points on our street. So if you really play it well, there's a narrow bit of road before the road widens. I mean, there'll be some people listening to this now who are really big fans, to the point of stalkerish. And they'll be writing this down, trying to get some clues as to where I live. They know it's near Hillsborough Park. Now they're going, oh, the road, it's narrow and then it widens. Okay. So they're piecing it all together. If I can get to the point of that bit of the road and I can cross there, there's nothing coming and I can dart across, I've saved myself having to wait for the lights. So then the crowd go absolutely wild. The commentators love that. It's like absolutely brilliant. He's got no lights to cross now. He can go as fast as he wants. But obviously if I have to wait at the lights, and that can really take a lot of time. It can take like 45 seconds for the lights to change. And the journey's only about 2-minute walk. So 45 seconds is a long time to have to wait, and you can hear the crowd getting restless. There's nothing I can do. It's not my fault at this point. I've just timed this incorrectly. The crowd need to take it out on someone, and I'm the only person there, and they can turn nasty. And I'm thinking about it. I did honestly think it was just a bit of fun that I was having, but I feel like it might be. Yeah, I might be letting something on here. I might be revealing too much. Because I'll also do things like, if I'm waiting for a train, I will count the gaps between the announcements at the train station. So the announcement will happen, and then I might count for 10 seconds. If the announcement happens within that 10 seconds, the other team get a point. If the next announcement happens within the other 10 seconds, I'll get a point. It's not even that it'll get 1 point. This increases the jeopardy even more, because there's 10 possible points to play for each round. And it might be first to 30 or first to 50. Depends. There's different seasons, different leagues. So a team could get 10 points. But in order to get 10 points in one go, you've got to hit that train announcement happening bang on the 10th second in your go. 1 second later, the other team get 1 point. And it keeps going like that. So in some ways, you don't want to get a low point. You don't want the announcements to happen in the first 5-6 seconds. You want to be aiming for those higher points. It gets quite anxiety-inducing, because as you get to 8 seconds, you go, bloody hell, I might be on for a massive win here. Oh, I might be about to lose and not gain a single point. So you're just hoping that there's something is going to happen on the 10th second. And there are a few times where I've forgot nobody else is aware of this game, and then I'm just at a train station and I have punched the air, or I've kind of like gone, yes, or something like that, because I've forgotten. I'm so... The exhilaration of the game is just too much. But now I'm thinking, does it affect the mood for the rest of the day? I think it probably does. If I've had a successful run of that game, I can really bolster my mood. But similarly, it can make me feel rather down if I've not done too well. And that's just me dicing with chance. Maybe this is more of a confession and more illuminating than I'd hoped it would have been. I honestly thought this would just be like, oh, this is a fun thing that I do. But I'm now starting to see it from a different perspective. I do sometimes play one where I'm on the train track. And I'm not genuinely on the train track, obviously, just in my head. So if the train arrives and it's not my block of 10 seconds, the other team are killed by the train. If I do the 10 seconds, then I'm killed by the train. So now I think about it, I'm not entirely sure if it's massively healthy. But there we go. That's me. How are you doing? Another one I'll often do is whether my joints click or not. So I'll stretch out a joint, and if it does click, I'll get a point. If it doesn't click, they'll get a point. And then it's first to 10. I don't know why I'm on the side of the clicking. Surely it's better for me for the joint not to click. But I celebrate when the click happens rather than the vice versa. I've never played the game from the non-clicking perspective. I've always been on the side of the clickers. And I've played that game for years. That's not a daytime game, that's a nighttime game. When I'm in bed, I'll often play that game. Unfortunately, Ellie doesn't seem to mind, because I have been with people before who really don't like the clicking of the joints, and they don't seem to think that it's a valid excuse to say that I'm trying to win the league here. They're like, I'm trying to get to sleep, you're clicking your joints. And I'm like, look, I'm through to the final, just bear with me another minute. Ellie doesn't seem to mind. I mean, she might tell you differently, but she's never had a go at me for it. Oh, another thing I do, my stomach. If I feel my stomach rumble, it depends on where it lands. There's a lot of these games that have the same principle. I get 10 seconds, the other team get 10 seconds. If the rumble happens in the first block of 10 seconds, they'll get the points. If I get the rumble in my allotted time, then I'll get the points. And if it happens, let's say on second 8, I get 8 points. First to 30. Maybe we could play some of these games on the podcast. Maybe we could do one each week. So there's children in the playground here, in the nursery, playing their games. But are any of them as imaginative as mine? I'd like to think that there was some radical child gets his mates around and says, right, we're playing a game. I'm going to click my joints. If my joints click, I get the point. If they don't, you lot get the point. And all the kids are just assembled around us. Some people are placing bets. I think the reason I started doing that game, putting my clothes on every morning, sometimes I struggle to have the motivation to get out of bed. I didn't realise there was somebody there. And I just essentially said in their face, sometimes I struggle to find the motivation to get out of bed. Imagine if he'd have just said, mate, I've been in your situation and the Samaritans really helped me through, and I have to sort of say, no, I'm absolutely fine. I've just got to check, that make sure you're all right, I just want to make sure, you're not having any sort of suicidal ideation or anything like that, you're not thought about killing yourself or anything. Oh, no, you don't need to worry about me, my friend. I'm Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. I'm always entertaining myself, like doing fun little games. Oh, really? Yes. Just the other day, for instance, I was at a train station, and I was pretending that I was on the train track. And if the train arrived within my 10 seconds, well, the train would essentially kill me, you see. So, fun little games like that. Oh, well, that's absolutely fine then, my friend. I do apologise. I think I got the wrong end of the stick there. Well, I think you have, my friend. I wish you'd put it down. I'm trying to bloody walk. Well, once again, we head back in time to around about 2006, somewhere between 2006 and 2008, when I was doing a hospital radio show in Middlesbrough. And one of the news stories at that time was that historians had discovered the world's oldest joke, the world's oldest recorded joke. And that took me on a little flight of fancy. I used to do those in those days, for little flights of fancy. Obviously now, brevity and conciseness are my watchwords. But back then, I allowed my imagination to run a little wild. And, it's not something that I would ordinarily encourage, but in the spirit of transparency, and also just seeing how one has changed over the 20 years, let's head back and have a little listen in. The world's oldest joke. The research from the University of Wolverhampton claims that the world's oldest joke has been traced back since 1900 BC. So, that's about 4,000 years ago, isn't it? 4,000 years ago. This is from 4,000 years ago right now. I don't really understand this joke, to be honest, so I'm just going to have to say it and see what you think. This comes courtesy of the Sumerians, who and they kind of hailed from the area which we now call southern Iraq. And it goes like this. Something that has never occurred since time immemorial. A woman did not fart on her husband's lap. There we are. Oh no, I've said that wrong. Sorry, you're probably thinking, hang on a second, David, that wasn't very funny. I've just realised I've done it wrong. So I'll say it again, because if I do it wrong, then I'm not doing the Sumerians any justice whatsoever here. Sorry about that. I said something that has never happened since time immemorial. A woman did not fart on her husband's lap. It's actually a young woman. Now it's funnier. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap. So you got the dimensions wrong there. So now it's much funnier. So there we are. The Iraqis. The Sumerians. Kings of comedy. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap. Oh dear. It's the way you tell them, probably. They probably told him much better. Maybe what I should do, what I'll do is I'll get some of these jokes, I'll read them out in a kind of comedian, like a Roy Chubby Brown kind of way, like a sort of a brash comedian, and put some canned laughter over the top, and we'll actually transport you 2,000 years into the past, and we'll give you like a stand-up comedy gig, because I've got a few more of the world's oldest jokes. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to start you off with a quick one, so you got to be quick with these. Okay, since time immemorial, something that has never happened since time immemorial, a young woman sat on her husband's lap and did not fart. Exactly. Thank you. Now, I was in Egypt the other day, and I looked at I was having a little chat with the pharaoh there, and he said, I'm a little bit bored. And I thought, really, you're a bit bored, are you, pharaoh? I thought, I've got the thing for you. I know what'll entertain you. So I sailed a boatload of young women down the River Nile, dressed in nothing but fishnets. And I went back to the pharaoh, and I said, go on, pharaoh, go and catch a fish. Oh, thank you. Men are even more eager to copulate than a donkey. The only thing restraining him is his purse. True story, this one. True story. 3 ox drivers were thirsty. One of them owned the ox. The other one owned the cow. And the other owned the wagon's load. The owner of the ox refused to get water because he feared that the ox would be eaten by a lion. The owner of the cow refused to get water because he thought that, his cow would wander off into the middle of the desert and he'd get lost. And the owner of the wagon refused to get the water because he thought that his load might get stolen. So, I don't know why this happened, but weirdly, they all decided in their wisdom that all 3 of them should go to get the water. I know. The ox started making love to the cow. And the cow gave birth to a calf, which ate the wagon's load. Problem: who owns the calf?
True story again. Odysseus tells the Cyclops that his real name is Nobody. Now, he's a very clever chap, this Odysseus, because when Odysseus shouted for his men to attack the Cyclops shouts for help. He shouts, "Help! Help! Nobody is attacking me!" Now, I told that joke to a Cyclops, actually. I told that joke to a Cyclops, and I said, "Did you like that one?" He said, "Aye." Yeah, exactly. That was made up, that bit. That was an ad-lib, that bit there. Oh, the blending the modern day with the BC jokes. Now, Emperor Augustus was touring his empire when he saw a man who had a striking resemblance to himself. Intrigued, he asked, "Was your mother at one time at service in the palace?" "No, Highness," he replied, "but my father was." Oh, thank you. Good night, everybody. I'll be seeing you later. Because the joke's from BC. I'll be seeing you later. Thank you.
My goodness, it's a rather windy day today. I think if ever there was a day to have gone out for the first time, gone out with the nipple accoutrements, then today would have been the day. For new listeners, on the microphones you can attach these fluffy wind things to protect against the wind noise, and I also have the microphones positioned next to my nipples, so that is why I'm referring to them as nipple accoutrements, because I'm wondering how it must look. At the moment I think the microphones are quite inconspicuous, but I think adding the fluffy things right on my nipples might bring more attention to me. However, you might be thinking you can't hear much wind. That's because I have set up a system where I can EQ all the other sounds independent of my voice. So it kind of means I can really minimise the wind, and this is really going to challenge me. But I'm going to, just as an example now, I'm going to turn all of that filtering off, and this is what we're dealing with, my friends. Oh, well, of course, as soon as I do that, the bloody wind stops. That's absolutely a very good system there, David. Oh, very clever. Must have taken you hours. Here we go. The wind's coming back. Still not as much as it was before. And there's a real susurration going on in the trees there. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll keep the filtering off. And hopefully at some point you will be able to hear the wind, and then I'll turn it back on again. At the exact moment that I said I would turn off the filter, that was when the wind decided to stop. But I think it's going to start up again here. Though one of the reasons for taking the wind out, I received a message from Steve, and he said that it can get sometimes quite confusing listening to the podcast, and he doesn't know whether when I'm on my walks and he can hear all this wind howling around his ears, and it kind of creates a little bit of, oh, there's the wind, Steve. Careful, it's going to bloody blow your hat off. He says it gets a bit confusing because he can be on a really calm place. He can't really feel any wind, but he can hear it, and it's kind of like this odd, disorienting experience for him. So that's his vote for the pom-pom nipples. But I think I might have found the solution, as I say, Steve, because I can just toggle the wind on and off. And it also takes out a lot of the bass frequencies from cars and things like that. Oh, here we go. So there's a big windy bit coming up now. Listen to that, Steve. So this is everything unfiltered. And then I can just slam on my filter and the wind disappears. What a lovely sound though. Listen to that. See, that's one of my favourite sounds. Susurration. It's almost like the sea. Listen to that. Oh. The weird thing is going to become when you have access to all this technology and the podcast players will start doing it so that you can just have like a mixer in front of you and you can turn me up or you can turn me off. You can turn me on if you want to. But yeah, that's going to become the worry when people are like, yeah, we'll just have a bit less of David, I think. We'll just enjoy the sounds. I'm trying to enjoy a susurration here, David. You keep going, listen to that. I was reminded when I was talking about the various games that I play, I was reminded about something that happened at primary school. Everyone used to play marbles, but I got marbles banned in our school. I was responsible for getting the game of marbles banned in our school, and I never played marbles. However, for some reason, I liked the feel of the marbles. There was just something about them at the age of 7 that I really enjoyed, the marbles. So much so that I wanted to have a vast marble collection. And indeed, I did end up with a vast marble collection. Word got out. I must have said to one of the girls at primary school, I really like the feel of these marbles. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, word got out, not across the whole school, or even the whole class, but just a group of girls in the class. Oh, David likes the feel of marbles. And so for some strange reason, they took it upon themselves to steal marbles on my account, on my behalf. And they would bring them back to me, and they'd put them in my marble tub. But they would steal them from people. They would steal them from, if people were playing games, were playing marbles, they'd just sneak up and steal one of the marbles and then run back to me. And I'm not sure how long this went on for. It feels like it went on for quite a while. But as I began to recruit more and more of these girls, and it was all girls as well, I'm not entirely sure why. So it was a strange situation, but then what happened was, eventually, I don't know if one of the teachers eventually got wind of this, and at this point, I didn't have the ability to filter out the wind, otherwise I might have got away with this. But the teachers got wind of what was going on, and maybe followed one of the girls back, and she got caught sneaking the marbles to me. I don't know what was in it for them. I don't know if they just quite liked the adventure, if I gave them their first taste for crime. You know, maybe they thought it was a fully altruistic thing, and they thought that it was like kind of Robin Hood. They stole from the able-bodied boys, essentially, playing their games of marbles, and they gave to the blind boy who couldn't play marbles, but enjoyed the feel of the marbles. But anyway, it was discovered what was happening, and we were all brought in. Me and a group of girls were brought in, and we were asked what was going on. But I don't know why they got banned. You'd have thought they'd just gone, give them the marbles back, David. You know, we could have started up like a glorious new chapter in the school, you know, where I was forced to apportion all of the marbles, and we had to apportion them equally among all the marble players of the class, or even just the entire class. Everyone would get a marble, even if it hadn't been their marble previously. It was kind of like a communist situation going on here. But maybe that's what the teachers feared. They thought, well, we could do this, and this seems all very fair. You know, give everybody in the class an equal share of marbles and redistribute the wealth. But then one of the teachers was like, well, you know, it starts out like that, but then before you know it, you know what's going to happen if we start following a communist system. And the teachers shuddered. They thought, we can't have this on our hands. And so they maybe just decided to ban the marbles completely from the school. And I think I might have been allowed to keep my collection. I think they thought this is too much of a Pandora's box. If we open the marbles tub and suddenly people are like, well, that one's mine, you know. I think they just let me keep my collection from what I remember. So I had a big marble collection for a long time, which I then remember selling for 50 pence. Yeah, there was somebody in our street who saw all my marbles and was like, oh, I want all these marbles. I really wanted them. And offered me 50 pence, and I was just like, yeah, done. And it was only afterwards that I was told somebody about this, and they were like, they reckoned I could have got £30 because I had a lot of marbles, but I don't know, I just sold them for 50 pence. So in some ways, I got my comeuppance. So I can't remember the story entirely, but I definitely got marbles banned from the school, and I definitely had a group of girls working for me who would steal marbles from other people and bring them to me. Hello, by the way, if there are any of my, I don't know if you had a name, but if there are any of my girl recruits, my female conspirers of old listening, then do let me know. I just hope that one of them, or more than one of them, didn't end up going on to live a life of crime. You know, I'd hate to think, you know, there's a couple of them in prison now. And maybe they've forgotten this situation. Maybe they've forgotten this whole thing. And they're just listening to this podcast to remind them of better times, remind them of innocent times at school. And they're going, oh, yeah, that David Eagle's got a podcast, you know, we could listen to that. That might remind us of our innocent childhood. This girl's listening to it, and she suddenly hears this story. And it reminds her, bloody hell, I was one of those marble thieves. This is where it began. It was David, he's responsible for getting me into a life of crime. And now she's got contacts on the outside. And before you know it, I'm being hounded. But she wants revenge, because I've ruined her life. She wants to ruin my life. My goodness. I'm hoping that's not the case. They'll be listening to the podcast. They're the people who are working out the clues. Right, we know he lives near Hillsborough Park. We know that his road narrows before the lights. They're working out all the clues to track me down. I mean, in fairness, you could just look on my website or just Google to find out where I am. Because I'm gigging for a living. So they could easily find me. So maybe I shouldn't have told this story. You know, this may be one of the decisions I later regret. Or maybe it's one of the people who had their marbles taken. You know, they might have been like, I had a brilliant marble collection of my own, but it was stolen by a gang of girls and then brought back to a blind man. And he got to keep my marbles. And since then I realised how unfair life is. And I thought if I want something getting, I'm going to have to steal it. That's the lesson that I learned. And so I entered into a life of crime. Oh my goodness. Just enjoying one of my final few days of freedom before the Marble Squad catch up with me. As you may have gathered, I am recording another dishwashing special. Today, I'm going to tell you a story that I certainly couldn't be telling you outside, and you'll find out why very soon. So I was doing a gig in a grammar school. It was a comedy gig. It was on the evening. It wasn't actually for the students. There were no students there. I'm not even sure there were any teachers there. It wasn't a fundraiser for the grammar school. It just so happened that the grammar school was the venue. However, you think it's going to be a gig in a grammar school. You've got certain ideas. You think it's going to be quite a prim and proper gig. There's certain jokes that I probably won't be doing. You know, this isn't my rowdy stag night. It's not that kind of crowd. That's not what I'm expecting. And sure enough, exactly my assumptions were met precisely when, before the compere went to the stage to start the night, a lady got up and she did a little talk. Oh, by the way, Ellie was saying that when she puts the question on the Facebook group, the private members group for the David Eagle podcast, someone answered that their favourite bit was when I drop something in the kitchen and how I react to it. They really enjoy that. So, I mean, I can't promise anything. I don't do it deliberately. I'm certainly not going to manufacture anything, my friend. But it's incredible what people really enjoy. There's these little things, you know, I'm dropping a tub. People are absolutely brilliant. Rewind it. Let's hear it again. This particular person, whoever it was, I'm sure they'll be listening in, hoping for something to fall out of my hand. I can't make any promises, my friend. So far, so good. Well, it depends how you look at it. You're obviously not particularly pleased. You would rather me drop something. But I have, every single time that I've dropped something or I've done an exclamation because I've crashed into something or something like that, I have kept them archived. I've put those in a separate file. And at the end of the year, we will do a little montage of all the little bits. So there's something to look forward to. If you don't listen to the others, make sure you check out the end of year special, my friend. You'll absolutely love that. Goodness knows how many minutes of tub falling, me dropping things, crashing into things, and shouting profanities there will be. Well, say profanities. Sometimes it's profanities. Sometimes it's just, oh my goodness. That wasn't one. He was getting his hopes up there. Oh, here we go. That was the sound of me putting a measuring jug away, and it just so happened to just slightly touch another measuring jug. Hang on in there, though, my friend. There might be something coming up soon. Who knows? Anyway. Oh, bloody hell. There was nearly something. I was trying to find a space for the cup. There was a cup balanced on the other cup, and I just brushed past the second cup, and I thought it was about to topple, but it wasn't. It was absolutely fine. But you got a little bloody hell out of me there. Anyway, back to the grammar school. So this woman got up, and she did a little talk. And when I say little talk, she was just introducing people to the night. But normally that doesn't happen. It's quite rare that happens. So yes, it was a very prim and proper introduction. You know, you compare it to like the big comedy clubs and the music gets louder. Please welcome to the stage, your compare. Then the applause and the music swells. You know, that wasn't the case here. It was this woman who was hello everybody, very posh, and she proceeded to tell people what else was going on over the next few months in the grammar school and also outside of the grammar school. They had a few sort of alfresco things as well. Our friend who enjoys me dropping things is going, yes, here we go. He's putting his hands in the sink. His hands are going to be wet. There's going to be a little slippery. It increases the chance of some kind of incident. So she says, we have an outdoor event with the Outdoor Theatre Group. It'd be lovely. You can bring along a picnic to that. And the play that they're doing is called Come Rain or Shine. But we certainly hope it will be shine. We certainly hope it won't be the rain. He got a little polite. So it was setting itself up to be a very quaint, posh, sedate evening. And then they said, well, and now without further ado, let me introduce you to your compere for this evening. He was introduced onto the stage. So now I know this guy. I've done loads of gigs with him. He went on and was absolutely brilliant. First minute, absolutely brilliant. You know, he didn't go on all guns blazing. He was playing it as the gig was dealt. He didn't feel like he had to be combative or anything like that. It wasn't that kind of night. So imagine my surprise, and everyone's surprise, when the compere asked, this is the first person he spoke to, he said, and what's your name, my friend? And the man said, Palm. I've never heard the name Palm before. I don't think the audience had heard the name Palm before. The comedian had never heard the name Palm before. But then when he said Palm, there was a bit of a laugh from the audience. And sometimes people will make up names. I don't know why, but it's just a thing that certain people will do. And then other people who know him will then laugh. And they're you've made up a name, you know. That, for some reason, it's a thing that people do. Sometimes it's quite odd as well, because sometimes people will just make up a name that's just a normal name, like John, when their real name is Jack. And then their friends are like, he's pretending to be somebody else. He's not John. He's actually called Jack, but this compere thinks he's called John. We're going to have some fun with this. But you can always tell. They're always found out, because that's the moment where their friends will laugh. And so the compere will immediately go, you're not called John, are you? And then these friends will go, no, he's not. He's called Jack. That's happened quite a lot. Anyway, this guy was called Palm, apparently. There was a bit of a laugh from the audience for whatever reason. And then the compere said, Palm? He said, oh, is that your real name? And the man's response to this was to go, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. I'm trying to keep my voice down here because I don't want the neighbours to think that I'm shouting at Ellie or something. They'll probably just think, oh, he's dropped a tub. He's dropped a tub, probably. But it was quite loud. It was really aggressive. Fuck off! Fuck off! Another thing is, there was quite a bit of laughter at this point. Like a bit of, I think some people were awkwardly laughing because they didn't know what else to do. I think some people might have thought it was a joke. You know, he couldn't possibly be angry about this, so he was obviously just being a bit silly and like pretending to be upset. So people were laughing. Now I think, in fairness, I think it could be a good joke actually. I don't necessarily want to encourage people to do this. If you're going to a comedy club over the weekend, why don't you try this? Someone asks you, why don't you just do it when someone asks you for your name? That'll be even better. What's your name? Fuck off! The reason I think it's so good is because it's so preposterous that anyone would respond in that way. Because I think it'd be really funny if he was like, fuck off, and then the commentator's like, oh, bloody hell, mate, I was just asking you. I know, mate, I was just joking. But that's not what happened. So the commentator goes, is that your real name? Not confrontationally, not angrily or aggressively. It was just like, oh, is that your real name? But I've not heard that name before. Palm, is that your real name? Fuck off, fuck off. Awkward laughter from the audience. And then the commentator said, oh, I've just calmed down, mate. I was just wondering if that was your real name. I've not heard the name before. And then the guy goes, wind your necking. Wind your fucking necking. Fuck off. Fuck off. And at this point, we go, well, it's probably not a joke now. And this is where the mood changed. Because now the audience, I think, have realised he's not joking around. He's lost it, this guy. He's gone absolutely mad. And the sound, I wish I had a recording. I mean, not only his reaction I'd like to play you, but I want to play you the sound of the audience. The sound of the audience, that kind of, ooh, like there was just different noises, just different oohs. You could tell, and I thought, my God, we're about a minute into this gig. You know, cut back in time. If you would have walked into the room, if you would have gone to the toilet, oh, she's just doing a little introduction. You know, I might miss the first minute of the combat. I just need to go to the toilet. I'll go now, quickly. If you'd have heard the first 30 seconds, the player's called Come Rain or Shine. Well, we certainly hope it'll be shine. We certainly don't want any rain, do we? You know, you think, okay, I'll go to the toilet, and then you go to the toilet, and you come back after a minute earlier, come rain or shine, we hope it won't be rain. And then a minute later, this guy walks back in, fuck off, wind your neck in, fuck off. He just hears this in the corridor going, has the compere even come on yet, or has this woman managed to upset someone? Maybe a meteorologist, someone from the water board. Perhaps. It's like, we need the rain, I think you'll find. We're in a drought season at the moment, there's a bloody horsepipe ban. Wind your neck in, fuck off. I got a bit panicky. Oh, because I was standing right at the door. I was listening in from the door. The door was open, so I was just like tucked out of the way. But I essentially had my head right there, and I thought if he now, presumably he's going to storm out, he's going to storm right past me. So I was prepared for this man to like be really aggressive and like storm right past me, like swearing and shouting. He might kick something. You know, I was, oh. And there it is, my friend. It was well worth the wait. Oh, I've done it again. Dropped a spoon that time. He's going to be absolutely cock-a-hoop. That was a tub and a spoon falling out of my hands, clattering to the bottom of the sink. Anyway, he goes, "Arf." He goes, "Oh, it's all right, mate. I was just asking what your name is. That's your real name. That's all. I've not heard the name before. Wind your neck in. Wind your neck in. Fuck off." So then the audience go, oh. There was just this feeling like, oh my God, the energy of the room has changed so much. He didn't storm out. He just sat there, sort of muttering. It was a weird scenario, but I think in that situation, I have no idea what I would have done. So basically, the compere didn't mention the palm incident again after it happened in his set. He just studiously ignored it. We moved on. The first act didn't mention it. And I don't know how much forethought I gave it. I think there's a moment, maybe a split second, where you go, I could make a joke here about him, or I could not make a joke here about him. Bearing in mind he responded with, "Fuck off, wind your neck in, fuck off." Bearing in mind he responded to that to, "Is that your real name?" Just imagine what it would be like when provoked. Genuinely provoked, generally being addressed. You know, also the audience might take against me. They might go, "Why have you brought that up? We were having a good time, and you've reminded us of that thing, and the energy and the awkwardness is back, and it could have really backfired." And you just don't know. Fortunately, I got away with it. Also, if I don't mention the blindness at all during a gig, then people will Google to find out. I'm aware of this because I know the most popular Googles for my name. David Eagle blind, David Eagle disability, and my personal favourite, what's wrong with David Eagle? Now, in fairness, that might have nothing to do with the blindness. That could be my therapist just Googling sheer exhausted desperation. Palm is my therapist. Told me to fuck off as well, but anyway. What could possibly go wrong now? He could rush me at any point and I would have absolutely no idea. Could someone put a bell on him? So at least give me a fair chance. Oh dear. I think if I could give any tips to newer comedians, my advice would be don't play the grammar schools. You know, don't get yourself on the grammar school scene until you are really ready for it. It's not for the faint-hearted. Get yourself some gigs with stags and hens first. You know, do the Christmas party scene. Get some of those under your belt. Raucous Christmas party events where everyone's just completely pissed. Get a couple of those under your belt first. And then when you're a bit more hardened, come to the grammar schools. Oh, yes, it's a return. We're just having a little drink here. An absolute classic from Birdhouse. It's the Breathe Easy tea, which I think must have got one of the highest scores.
It got a very high score, didn't it?
On the herbal tea thing. But we can all breathe easy because we've got Olivia's email still to read. Don't you worry about it. Imagine that, a podcast when Olivia doesn't email. What a dark day that will be. No pressure, of course, Olivia. Okay, but before we get to Olivia, we'll get through this nonsense. Ben's been in touch. Oh, we'll rattle through Ben's message. So I think Ben tends to message as he listens.
Yes.
So we kind of get his thoughts as he goes, although he has not yet joined the Facebook group.
He hasn't, no.
Unbelievable, Ben. Because we know you're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because you're sending these messages on Facebook.
Through Facebook Messenger.
Do you think you're too good for the others, dear Ben? Is that what's going on?
Just catching up with this week's podcast, and the best track I found for getting Blossom to sleep as a baby was November Rain from Guns N' Roses.
That surprises me, because it starts off very nice. Do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do, and all of that. But then, by the time it gets into it, I think I would imagine, Ben, she got to sleep 2 to 3 minutes before the end, and that first 5 minutes, and it's all really quiet, and the rain and stuff, but then all of a sudden it does the... all that stuff with the electric guitar. Well, you could tell what I was doing. I mean, listeners might go, David, you have to be careful here because you're gonna get a copyright claim. Because you can't play the original, David. You should have done an approximation. That was me doing that with my mouth. There's a little soundbite for this show.
What I like, 5.5 hours later, because obviously this is on Messenger so we can see the times, he's gone, lol, I realised I was listening to the previous edition. Laughy, sweaty emoji face.
So he's listened to the wrong one. Did he not? I like the fact that he didn't notice.
No.
Is that the second time you've listened? I think the trouble is, no wonder Ben listens. I wonder if Olivia's got similar memory problems.
Well, then he goes on to baking cups as measurements is great because it doesn't matter the size as long as you use the same one the whole way through.
I think a cup is meant to be a certain measurement. So once you get your right cup, there's a measuring cup, shouldn't there?
Yeah. So we have got some measuring cups now.
Well, we've got measuring jugs. I know that much.
Yeah, we do.
We know that because they made a little appearance on their podcast in the dishwashing episode.
Oh, of this week?
Yes.
That'll be a lovely surprise for me when I listen. Ben's narrator would be the man from the original Paddington Bear, Michael Hordern, it would need to be an AI version because he's not with us any longer.
Well, I mean, this is the thing now, isn't it? Technically, with AI, you could just get whoever you want, really. As long as you've got a recording of their voice. I mean, it's absolutely scary now that you can just have like a 5 or 10 second clip almost of someone's voice and it'll start recreating stuff.
He then also says a bushel is a jug, isn't it?
We never actually established this. We know that a bushel is like an amount.
I thought we looked at it.
You said 5 pecks was a bushel. But how many bushels is a Gary? I don't think, unless Olivia's done this, how many pecks is a Gregory? I don't know if we had that. Didn't set the Facebook group alight.
No, the Facebook group is not. But who knows? We haven't read the emails yet. Rhea Full Bladder. Maybe one of the reasons.
Oh, I absolutely love her. Rhea Full Bladder. Very good. Wonderful.
Maybe one of the reasons the Commons benches are green is to cover up the urine stains, as those who tried to hold it in didn't succeed, and many of the Tories are rather old.
Good theory there, Ben.
And then he finishes off with, I don't know where the quote's from, but I imagine it fitting into Blackadder.
Oh, well done, Ben. I completely forgot about that.
Okay, so we're going back to the Facebook group.
Are we?
Yes, because...
Have other people guessed?
Yes.
So the quote was, Nathaniel will sit on a spike. I shall sit on Nathaniel. 2 spikes would be a luxury. Ben's guess is Blackadder.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid that the Facebook group is correcting you somewhat here.
What?
2 spikes would be an extravagance.
Oh, did I say luxury?
You said luxury.
Oh, an extravagance, of course.
Yes.
Oh, I've made a mistake. It's so rare.
Yeah.
It does happen. Even I am infallible.
So Steve puts...
Infallible? Fallible. I've done that. Oh, I've made another mistake. I've made another one. Oh, yeah. Two mistakes would be an extravagance.
David writes... no, he doesn't.
No.
Oh, my God.
Oh, 3 mistakes.
That's you.
3 mistakes.
Steve writes...
Within 10 seconds.
David,
Steve Wright?
The 2 spikes reference is from Blackadder II, and I quote, In our house, Nathaniel sits on a spike. And Edmund says, and yourself? I sit on Nathaniel. 2 spikes would be an extravagance.
That's
so there
right.
we go.
Yes, it's from Blackadder II. It's from the wonderful episode that also has the phrase, Great booze up, Edmund!
It also has...
Do you know that man? I'm sorry. Do you know that man? Who? Oh, him. He's been suffering from sleeping sickness. And as you've just heard, great booze up. Well done, Edmund. But I'll just go and visit him right now. Now, I'm sure someone will correct me. I've got a lot of that wrong. But,
I may have the body of a weak and feeble woman.
Is it the same one?
But I have a heart and stomach of a concrete elephant.
It is. It's that one. And it's also the same ones. See the little goblin. See his little feet. And his little nosy wosy. Isn't the goblin sweet? Yes. Sometimes I'm nice. And sometimes I'm nasty. Yes.
Yes. And his aunt is played by...
Miriam Margolyes.
Who went to school with my aunt.
Oh,
it all comes round again.
I mean, Miriam Margolyes doing an audio book. like doing someone's life.
Yeah, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? Okay, so I think we're back out of the Facebook group and back into the emails.
Back into Ben.
Ben is done.
Oh,
Thank
Ben's
you, Ben.
done. Okay, we're nearly there, everybody. But if you
we've-
just hold on a little bit longer, Olivia's soon, but we're just getting it through Steve's nonsense.
Well, and almost spam, but not spam. So Angela has emailed, but it went into spam.
An actual genuine listener, but I wonder why. What's gone on? What's Angela said that's triggered the spam
I don't
monitor?
know. Hi, David and Ellie.
Has she mentioned the size of my penis, perhaps? Let's find out.
I'm a relatively new poddy-scriber and would like to apply to be listener number 13, please. It's my lucky number. As I despise Facebook, I must sadly miss out on the Lucrusate buying chances afforded in the listening group there. Oh, well. Having heard this week's episode, I now feel compelled to search back for the legendary Cockney Gospel segment, as I'm a long while married to an authentic Cockney and therefore fully bilingual.
So it's talking about long and cocks. Maybe that's why it's gone into the spam there.
I need to know more, with gratitude for the weekly giggles.
Oh, you need to know where it is?
No, I need to know more, she says.
More, yeah, where it is. I thought she was asking if you needs to know which episode it was.
I mean, it's the episode entitled Cockney Gospel.
Oh, I actually caught that.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So she presumably doesn't mean that. What does she mean? She needs to know more.
She just maybe needs more of it. I mean, to be fair, Cockney Gospel has been very popular. There's been a lot of praise for it. Perhaps I could email you Olivia's emoji, Matty Groves.
It's up to you, Angela. You could do it. Or maybe we start putting a little gallery on the website. We could have the David Eagle podcast photo gallery with listener contributions and all sorts of stuff. And we'll have to have a little bit of a think about that.
Yeah.
It might be a bit too much work, to be honest.
And now to Steve. Hi, David and Ellie. So glad to have the usual amount of tosh again this week. Thank you. I can certainly relate to David's trouser discomfort dilemma.
Oh, my
We've all
goodness,
been there.
What, in my trousers?
Well,
Steve, I thought you weren't going to talk about this, my friends. What did his email go into the spam folder? Unbelievable.
Well, obviously not. Ellie and Olivia won't have been there, but I'm sure Ben has. Having said that...
Oh, right, I thought you meant in my trousers. I mean, I don't think Ellie won't have been in there, but I'm sure Ben has.
I believe the ladies probably have their own personal comfort issues at various times.
Yeah, I don't know
if we
and we're
not
do.
Going
I don't know if we need to talk about it.
We are not going into that. My solution would have been to head to the nearest gents where the necessary adjustments could be made without fear of embarrassment or indecent exposure. Of course, I'm assuming, perhaps incorrectly, that the park where the walk takes place has public conveniences.
Well, it does, but I live 2 minutes away from the park. I could just head home in 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah. So by the time I'd found a public toilet, I might as well have just done that. But it was fine. I was preoccupied with it for a while, but then I forgot all about it. Yeah. Granted, I spoke about it for 5 minutes before that point.
I did try a half-speed listen, but just got really scared, to be honest. So I also found myself walking slower, so my walk took twice as long.
I did. It was one of my favourite things we've ever done was just listening to the podcast on half speed. Oh, absolutely hilarious.
You were just really properly laughing.
I'm going to do one. We're going to play out with another one, I think.
Okay.
Oh, actually, what we do have to play out with is the Dim Sum song.
Oh, yeah, so we'll do that instead. And then maybe we do another slow one next week. Steve says, anyway, I'll keep this brief so I have a fighting chance of competing with Olivia and getting at least some of it read out. And then he's put laughing emoji.
Oh, no, he's competing with the emojis as well.
Yeah, but he's not put an emoji. He's
actually written it.
Laughing emoji.
Do you think he doesn't? Does he not know what emojis are? I
think he's done it so that if you were reading this on a screen reader...
if you are doing that, Steve, my screen reader reads out the emojis.
Finally.
It's time for Olivia, everybody. And then we have a song about dim sum.
Hi, David and Ellie. Brilliant podcast this week. Thoughts? Who would I like to read the audiobook of my life story? Probably my namesake, Olivia Colman. She's national treasure.
Yes, absolutely, definitely.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, wonderful.
How many pecks in a Gregory?
Oh, well done, Olivia. I thought no one was going to go there.
We knew we could rely on her.
Olivia's gone for my peck query.
She's picked up on your pecs.
She's picked up on my peck. Right.
Google tells us that the average grown man has 5.5 litres of blood in the system at any one time. Very sobering when I think about how I lost 5 litres of blood during an operation post-childbirth. Bloody lucky to still be here. 1 peck equals 19 pints or 9 litres. The average bladder apparently holds 500 millilitres, although apparently this can go to 600 or 700 before feeling very uncomfortable. Maybe something to think about before going on stage, David. Even so, when full of blood and wee, and giving a few extra millilitres for various other bodily fluids sloshing around inside him, Gregory would have a capacity of about 6.5 litres. So, the answer to how many pecks in a Gregory peck? Not even one.
What?
But was a peck not a dry measurement?
Yeah, a peck is a dry measurement, Olivia. But I suppose you could dry out the wee and the blood and these other fluids that she's referring to.
Less then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because there'd be an evaporation situation and dehydration.
Okay, so that's an interesting way of going about it. One way that I might have gone about it is to work out Gregory Peck's mass.
Yeah.
So if we could find that out on Google, then we have to somehow work out what would happen if we almost filed Gregory down. So we take all of his skin mass, we take all of his bone mass and muscle mass, and we kind of, if we were able to put that into a box, essentially, I suppose.
You're basically saying, let's chop up Gregory Peck and see
I don't want, if we put on the news that Gregory Peck's been involved in some kind of murder, then I'm going to feel very bad.
I'm pretty sure, he died in 2003.
Did he?
So,
so
this is fine.
I wonder how much then his cremation, did he get cremated? If he was still buried, there's still hope, everybody.
Oh my God.
But.
So I have just Googled what was Gregory Peck's mass, and it did try to...
It's talking about the service. The funeral service.
Well, it did try to correct it to massage or massacre. So in a second, I'm going to look up what was Gregory Peck's massacre because I am intrigued by that. But it says, based on the provided search results, there is no specific information regarding Gregory Peck's body weight or mass. However, results indicate that he was 6'3" and possessed a strong, sturdy build. So that's no help at all.
No, I don't. I think...
What's Gregory Peck's massacre?
I dread to think. This is going to be quite a terrible end to the podcast.
Based on the search results, there's no single famous historical event known as Gregory Peck's massacre. No, I know.
So why is it there then?
However, the term likely refers to his leading role in the Western Only the Valiant. He is wrongly blamed by his men for an Apache massacre of soldiers at a remote fort.
Okay. Well done, Olivia, there.
You put the effort in. I think that Phil's idea of a theme tune for my emails is hilarious. Thanks, Phil. Before I worked in a nursery, I used to do a lot of public speaking, and a former colleague of mine was talking about intro music, and he said that whenever he saw me, he would always think of the theme music to Olivia the Pig.
Oh.
I've never watched it, but it's apparently a cartoon about an anthropomorphic pig that has various adventures, and it ran from 2009 to 2010. Peppa Pig was around before this, so sort of set a precedent, and I'm not that keen on the animation style of Olivia. However, when my colleague played me the theme tune, I knew what he meant. Have a listen here. Perhaps this could be sampled or remixed. He still sings it when he sees me.
Let's have a listen to Olivia the Pig. Oh, I like it.
Yeah, this is
great. We could definitely do something with this, Olivia. Brilliant. I mean, the job's been done.
Yeah, I think
really.
That. And also, given that she works with children, that children's chorus
that is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll have to think if I can do something different with that. But I just think that is a little jingle for you there, Olivia.
On Matty Groves, I've always thought of Lord Donald as being a very sinister character. I think if they made...
That's interesting. It says Lord Donald. I've never actually looked up the words, Olivia. So I was just doing it from remembering the song. So I think I was saying Lord Arnold. I am Lord Arnold's wife.
Lord Arnold.
Yeah, she thinks it's Lord Donald.
We've all made mistakes.
We're all making mistakes in this podcast. My goodness.
So, I've always thought of Lord Donald as being a very sinister character. I think if they made a film version, he could have been played by Charles Dance, as I feel that Lord Donald has a very Tywin Lannister, Game of Thrones vibe to him. Yes, I would go with that.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to see a film based on Lord. We need to invent, we need a backstory for him. And what happens afterwards. We need some more information. Maybe this can be our special little Christmas pantomime that we do, Olivia.
Yes, so I feel that he has a very Tywin Lannister Game of Thrones vibe to him. Happy to make pleasant chit-chat 1 second and behead you in one stroke the next.
Absolutely spot on.
I'm sure that Lady Donald knew this when she married him, which is why she waits until he's out of town to make her moves on Matty, and she's clearly the one at fault here, which wouldn't have been discovered if it wasn't for the servant. The servant, in my view, was too eager to please, chasing after him, swimming the river and so on. I'm sure there was something going on either between Lord Donald and the servant, or perhaps the servant was jilted by Lady Donald in favour of Matty and felt jealous. And otherwise, why would they have bothered doing all that trouble just to stir up shit?
Okay. I don't agree. Oh, do I agree? Olivia, I wasn't sure about your first thought there about the servant and Lord Donald. We'll call him Lord Donald, even though it's Lord Arnold. Lord Donald having a thing with the servant. Because I was like, well, then why would he tell him about the lady? But you could be quite right, because the hope might be that he goes, well, she's been disloyal to me. What's the point? We might as well just continue our relationship and our little affair that we're having together. So maybe you're onto it. I like your second theory, though, Olivia. I can't remember what it was now, and I liked it.
That maybe the servant had been jilted by Lady Donald in favour of Matty and felt jealous.
I like the idea that maybe the servant tried it on with Lord Arnold's wife.
Yeah.
Then he felt jealous about it and therefore thought, I'll get my own back. So what an absolute turn. We'll put that in the Christmas panto.
She continues, I'm sure there could be a spin-off there, laughy emoji with
we're on to it.
Crying. In early versions of the song, the servant is male, but at some point and in different versions, the servant is female, so that could also be quite interesting. I'm pretty sure I could churn out a 3,000-word essay on Lord Donald, crazed murderer, or justified cuckold as a summer project, if anyone's interested.
If you want to start thinking of little ideas for the pantomime. The Christmas pantomime.
Going back to Let's go to Arnold again. Okay. Lord Arnold's exchange of pleasantries with Matty upon entering the bedroom. There's a fabulous version of this that was sung at Cropredy Festival in 1998, where Simon Nicol of Fairport changed the lyrics to "How do you like my feather bed? How do you like my sheets? How do you like my curtains that I bought in the sale last week?"
And I like the idea of them having a longer discussion about the decor of the room and the aesthetics.
We move on to Ben's house name. Ben wants to name his end of terrace bungalow. Yeah. Something that I quote is flamboyant or over the top. In the last podcast, you quoted Blackadder. Nathaniel sits on a spike.
Olivia's
I sit on Nathaniel. 2 spikes would be an extravagance. The pedant in me remembers that you said luxury rather than extravagance, although I'd argue that luxury, extravagance, flamboyant and over the top are all synonyms.
Yeah, which is more than we said for Arnold and Donald, Olivia. If we're going down that route, who can play that game? I can give as good as I get, my friend.
Ben should therefore name his house 2 Spikes. An extravagant name with potential to open many a conversation with visitors about both Blackadder and the David Eagle podcast. What's not to enjoy?
Absolutely brilliant. Well done, Olivia.
Skin out your pum-pum. According to Google, pum-pum is slang for female genitalia. No prizes there. So skin out your pum-pum is apparently Jamaican heritage slang that means exactly that, to show off your genitals, particularly when dancing. And then she does a sort of shrugging emoji.
Oh, well, there could be worse emojis she could have done for that. My goodness.
Have you still got that darned Olivia the Pig theme stuck in your head? Me too, cry emoji. Sorry, awkward face emoji. Best wishes, Olivia.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Oh, well done, Olivia. Yeah, get thinking about that Christmas panto. And
if anybody else wants to be in the Christmas panto, then do let us know. You can email the David Eagle podcast at gmail.com.
Or you can reach out on the old socials, of course. Fire up the old Mac and reach out on the old socials. Or you can, of course, get yourself on to the private members group. Right
there
then.
you go.
So,
Is it dim sum time?
It's dim sum time. So we mentioned this on last week's podcast. When Ellie was making some dim sum,
Yep.
the Chinese dumplings, when we were with James Fagan and Nancy Kerr's children, when they were 13 or 14, we ended up creating a little song all about dim sum. So here it is. Now, it's not... I don't think we'd properly got this. I think we had to stop recording because we then had to have the dim sum.
You did have to eat the
That was being cooked. We can't sing a song about how much we enjoy dim sum and then the dim sum just goes stone cold because we've been singing about it. What cruel irony that would have been. So there are a couple of little mistakes. It's not perfect, my friends. Maybe, we can get them in. We can do a proper version. But we'll play out this week's episode with myself, Harry and Hamish Fagan. And I think we were calling ourselves, the band was, I was the Gyoza Geezer.
Yes.
And the other two were the Fluffy Buns.
Yes.
So we'll say goodbye with this. The Gyoza Geezer and the Fluffy Buns with the Dim Sum song from me, David Eagle.
And me, Ellie Eagle Skinner.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, it's a Chinese dish that I like to chew. I like to eat it when I'm feeling blue. It goes really nicely with a stew. And what it is, I will tell you. I do like a dim sum, I do. I say I do like a dim sum, I do.
Me too.
I say I do like a dim sum, I do. I say I do like a dim sum, I do.
Well, it's a recent discovery, it's something new. It's good for me and it's good for you. To drop it on the floor on the day you're I like it with a bao bun with chop soup. Because I do like a dim sum, I do. I do like dim sum, I do.
Me too.
I do like dim sum, I do. I do like dim sum, I do.
It's true.
Well, I eat it hot with plenty of sauce. And when I'm eating it, I feel like a boss. Have it on its own, oh, it's time to soup. But don't cook it too long, oh, it turns to goop. Because I do like dim sum, I do. I do like dim sum, I do.
Me too. Well, I do like dim sum, I do. I do like dim sum, I do. Well, you can eat it in Scotland or you eat it in Slough. That's something I'm going to stay loyal to. I take a vow when it goes in my mouth. I say, oh, wow, I'm going to win this song soon. And then I'll take a bow. I do like dim sum, I do. I do.
Like dim sum, I do.
I do like. Oh, I say I do like dim sum. I do. I say I do like dim sum. I do. I say I do like dim sum. I do. I do. I say I do like dim sum. I do.
I do. I said I do like dim sum. I do. Do like dim sum. I do.